What Ferrara means when he talks about bias in AI is the prejudice or overly leaning toward one specific side of opinion. So AI has this tendency to mimic or create a sort of echo chamber for the user that is asking it questions. And he explains it well when he says that the reason for this is that one, LLMs are prone to bias because they learn from massive, imperfect internet data. And with that kind of data, in order to answer a question about something in life, whether it's politics, anything, politics, war, which could tie into politics, but I can't think of anything else. But anything in life, you've gotta pick a side. You use the information given to you and you pick something. When people ask questions to AI, it provides the user what it's looking for, because ultimately the main purpose of AI, I'd say yes, I think he was effective in showing that this bias exists, because ultimately the main purpose of AI is to aid the user. So, in an example of this I have is the fact that I had asked one AI chatbot in the perspective of an atheist, except I didn't tell it I was an atheist. I just asked, give me tangible proof that there is no God, or just, and ultimately its line of reasoning led to there is no God, right? Because I asked it questions that hinted at the fact that I was an atheist, hypothetically. And then I opened up another chat bot and a different one on a different tab, and I asked it questions with the underlying undertone that I was a Christian, except I didn't say it overtly. And I asked it to give me evidence of God existing. And then it ultimately, its line of reasoning led to how everything in life leads to God. And the interesting thing about that is that it gave me, in both instances, what I was looking for, which means that it has bias. It gives you the specific thing you're looking for. It doesn't ultimately give you objective fact unless you ask for it. But if you just ask a line of questions, it can sort of read the undertone of your perspective if you allow it to, and give you answers in favor of your hidden belief, which I learned in that moment. So I'd say, yeah, it has a strong bias. Ferrara correctly described it. And they also propagate patterns, is something he mentioned in the text, which basically they are mimicking human interaction, and in the same way that you would gauge what your response should be to a person based on what they say to you, it seems like AI takes note of patterns in this way. It's pattern recall to be able to determine whether it should say, yes, God does exist, or no, no, he doesn't. And here's the reasons why. And that happened for me in both cases.